I've been mowing my own lawn for 10 years, never paid anyone to do it, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. I usually listen to podcasts while doing it. If I had to spend that time anyway, at least I could make it useful. It always felt like a waste of time pushing that mower around. Though I have to admit, it did feel good to look at the yard when it was done. So it wasn't love for the hobby that made me buy a robot mower. It was the fact that ever since I got into smart home, one of my first thoughts was, wouldn't it be great if I didn't have to do this myself? We already got a robot vacuum, no double standards. The robot mower was the big purchase of the following year. Before I bought it all, I spent weeks watching YouTube videos. Almost every single one was sponsored. You can't really take those as objective. I never knew what they were hiding, what they weren't showing. I didn't get paid for this video. I bought this machine myself. If something bothers me, I'll say it. At the same time, everyone's situation is different. What works for me might not work for you, and the other way around. Why this robot couldn't find its way back to the charging station, and why it's just sitting out there getting rained on? Well, we'll get to that. So I spent weeks, months researching. There are two main categories, boundary wire system and wire-free systems. Wire-based systems are cheaper to get into, but you have to dig a trench around your yard, lay the wire, and if you ever want to change your garden layout, start over. I ruled it out immediately. I didn't want to dig, and I felt like locking myself into the current garden structure forever. Within the wire-free category there are two technologies, LiDAR and RTK, sometimes combined with cameras. RTK is GPS-based, very accurate, but less reliable in areas with trees and shade. I have a few trees and a lot of small obstacles, so I ended up filtering down to LiDAR machines. LiDAR uses a laser point cloud to map the space. No wire, no digging. The map lives in software and can be updated anytime. I went with the Mammotion Yuka Mini 2, around 1100 euros. Not cheap, but I wasn't counting money, I was counting time. Every mowing session this machine does instead of me is a morning I spent in the garden with my kid or just doing something else. That was enough. We ordered it, it arrived. The packaging is fine, not the premium unboxing experience you see with Apple products, but it's organized. The machine, the charging station, ground stakes and so on. I'm not going to show everything, sponsored videos cover that anyway. This is the LiDAR tower. It is what scans the environment with laser light. The wheels are solid, actual tire tread, not flat plastic. Fair warning though, on soft ground it did dig in a bit when it got stuck. The cutting deck from underneath, not a single spinning blade like a traditional mower, small blades mounted on hinges. If they hit something hard, they swing out instead of snapping. The app is called Mammotion, available on iOS and Android. First launch was straightforward, pairing, count setup done, a few minutes of onboarding. So the question was, where do we put the charging station? The ideal spot would have been somewhere between the two main mowing zones. The machine could reach both areas quickly from there, made sense. Except the machine needed internet access, at least for remote control, firmware updates and notifications. There is no access point in the back of the garden, the house Wi-Fi doesn't reach out that far. There is a 4G module available for it, you can order it locally too, but I didn't want to buy extra hardware right away. Let's try Wi-Fi first. So plan B, paved area next to the outbuilding, there's Wi-Fi there. The machine has to travel farther to reach the mowing areas, but at least it has a connection. Then came the next surprise. When connecting the mower to Wi-Fi, all I could see was that it wasn't working. No error message, it just didn't connect. I tried the other network, switched from the 2.4 GHz IoT VLAN to the regular 5 GHz home Wi-Fi, and it worked immediately. There's a bit of concern. The 5 GHz band has a shorter range than the 2.4 GHz, so it's not ideal long term. But for now, it's what it works. I have an outdoor access point I need to mount somewhere anyway. That will probably fix this, but that's a future problem. Power. Extension cord from the garage running along the wall. Not pretty, but it works for now. The charging cable is long enough that I ran it through the window into the workshop. Not how it will stay, but at this point I just really wanted to see the machine run. The machine powers on, the app finds it. First thing the app asks, manually drive the machine around the area to map the boundaries or use the automatic mapping feature. I didn't even try the automatic option. Everything I read said that if you want precise cuts, manual mapping is the way to go. I'll cover that in detail in the next episode, because that's where things get interesting. There were a few surprises. This is the garden. Uneven ground, a trampoline, a swing set with hanging ropes, raspberry bushes, a rock garden, stepping stones, 2 dogs. This is not the garden you see in the sponsored videos. Perfectly trimmed, obstacle-free lawn. This is a real lifting garden. Next episode we will find out how the machine handles it. Heads up, it didn't go smoothly. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. For smart home content you can also find me at otthonkapocs.hu.